A perpetual cycle in life is when your days start to blur together because you're repeating the same actions, habits, and reactions on loop. You wake up, do what you're supposed to do, chase the same dream, and at the end of the day, you feel like nothing really changed. Even when you want something different, your routine pulls you back into familiar patterns, so progress feels like it's stalled, and time feels like it's slipping by. It's not that you're lazy or unaware, it's that fear or comfort or obligation that keeps reinforcing the loop. The cycle feeds itself. Yesterday looks like today, and today looks like tomorrow. And life starts to feel like motion without movement. That's what makes a perpetual cycle heavy in real life. Not the repetition itself, but the sense that you're moving, yet not going anywhere. Insanity in this sense is when repetition turns from routine into self-betrayal. It's doing the same thing over and over while knowing it isn't working and yet expecting a different outcome each time. You recognize the pattern, you predict the result, and yet you still walk the same path hoping it leads you somewhere new. It's exhausting because awareness doesn't bring change on its own. The mind understands the trap, but habit, fear, or comfort keeps the body moving in circles. Each repeat chips away at your patience or confidence until the cycle doesn't just waste time, it drains belief. That's insanity in life. Not ignorance, but conscious repetition of what you already know leads nowhere. The difference between an insane cycle and a perpetual cycle comes down to awareness and expectation. A perpetual cycle is a repetition you drift into. You do the same things because life, routine, or circumstances keep you there. You may feel stuck, but you're not actively expecting a different result every time. You're just moving forward on autopilot. It's passive, time passes, days repeat, and you slowly realize you're circling around the same ground. On the other hand, an insane cycle is a repetition you choose despite knowing better. You clearly see the pattern, you know the outcome won't change, yet you repeat the behavior while hoping for a different result. That's what makes it destructive. Awareness without action. It's active resistance to change. In short, a perpetual cycle is being stuck without fully confronting it. An insane cycle is being stuck where you're fully aware of it and still not breaking free of it. This is so important to understand because once you understand the difference, you can realize which one you're in and go forward from there. Alright, so the reason I was talking about perpetual cycles and insanity cycles was because I have been in them multiple times, and most recently I've fallen into a perpetual cycle, which I'll talk about after I talk about the insanity cycles that I've had. So, having insanity cycles doesn't mean you're insane as a person. It just means you're trying the same thing over and over again without changing anything and expecting a different outcome each time. For example, I thought that if I started 100 businesses, at least one of them had to be successful. Which, spoiler, none of them were. My 101st was after I changed something. But basically that's how people fall into these insanity cycles. They think that if they do something so many times that eventually they'll get it done. But if they don't change anything, they will always be stuck in that cycle. And honestly, I think that if you do 100 things, for example, and change at least one thing during those 100 things, then only you'll be able to, say that you've actually done something right and escape that insanity cycle. Anyway, perpetual cycles now. Most recently, when I'm back from Hawaii now, but I was just in Hawaii, and I fell into a perpetual cycle from, I would say, January 5th to 12th. Where basically I just woke up around 10, which is really bad. You shouldn't sleep that much. I was sleeping way too much. I would eat breakfast, and then I would go to the gym, and then I would just relax for the rest of the day until like midnight. And then I would put in like 2-3 hours of work, and then I would go back to sleep till 10 in the morning again. And yeah, my locations changed at times. Like I went to Koilina. I think that's how you say it. Okay, never mind. I went to a resort there, and even though I was in a different spot, I was still stuck in that cycle. I woke up around 10. I didn't even go to the gym. Actually, I did. I worked out a little bit, but then I would go to and relax for the rest of the day and work after that. So, yeah, that's how it is. That was my perpetual cycle. I'll play a couple clips of bit so that you kind of guys see what that looks like, etc. Because that's how I spent most of my time in Hawaii, and unfortunately I wish that I would have done something new every single day. But no, I was just stuck, and I was okay with being stuck, because sometimes it's okay to be in a perpetual cycle where you just need to relax and let... I want to say relax. Relax isn't the right word. I don't really have the right word in mind, but basically I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And yeah, let's get into those couple clips of my perpetual cycle, so to say. Alright, so unfortunately I don't really have any more clips. Those are just the two that I have. But basically, yeah, as I said, my perpetual cycle was waking up around 10, going to the gym, and then relaxing for the rest of the day and working till 3 a.m. basically. Yeah, not the proudest moment, but yeah, I'm back from Hawaii now, and I'm glad to say that I have broken that perpetual cycle, and I'm going to work towards the fact that I achieved something new every... That was an insane catch. Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah, now that, as I was saying, now that I'm back from Hawaii, I'm going to work on the fact that, I'm going to work on getting into a cycle where I improve every single day, and I think that's the cycle that people should aim for. Make at least one improvement a day. And yeah, from now till I guess the end of the year, hopefully I'm going to be trying to build that cycle. So yeah.